So you're not married?
Nope.
Ever been?
Nope.
Want to be?
No.
Don't you want a woman of your own?
What for?
Share your name, bear your children, be a companion.
They asked me to quit drinking, quit gambling, save my money, and to bitch about her aches and pains all day? No, thanks.
Must be a lonely life.
It's a great life. Women when I want them and none with the name of hoping.
Women who make more than their husbands in heterosexual marriages are up to 3 times more likely to get cheated on. Another recent study found that men's stress levels rise if their female partners earn more than 40% of the household income. Researchers find that promotions to top jobs dramatically increase a woman's likelihood of divorce, a pattern that does not hold true for men.
Can you see a scenario in which these stats will be true?
Yeah, I do see a lot of men that, that are scared of their woman making more than them because they base their relationships on what kind of financial abilities they can bring to a relationship because they have no emotional intelligence or can communicate well with women. Mm-hmm. So they lean hard on their money and try to control them with their money. And when they can't do that, then it's like, oh shit, how else can I, lead this relationship or deal with her emotions instead of just buying her gifts? How can I talk her through what's going on, or how can I communicate well with her? Mm-hmm.
If I went on a date with a guy who's single and he's not fucking any other girls, then I would be like, well, why isn't he? Like, what's wrong with him? Obviously, there's been some flags going off for other girls to make them avoid the situation. So, I mean, like, I personally would be like more inclined to want to go on a date, at least a first date.
With a guy who's...
Well, the guy who's like normal, yeah, who's like hooking up with girls and I'm hooking up with guys. Like, I mean, I feel like that's dating in 2020.
When women needed men, families worked out. As soon as women didn't need men, now all of a sudden families don't work out. To try to circle that back and try to pin that on men for not being nicer or not doing more or not going above and beyond to be an above average man for this average chick, you're telling men basically get out there, tap dance in a top hat and be excellent for these chicks.
Yeah, what you're saying is be excellent or pull up or like go above and beyond. I would view as like bare standards for being a decent human being. If your only way of getting a girl ever was like relying on the fact that she couldn't work, that means you're a weak man. That means that you just don't offer anything. You're nothing. Like, you're just a body that shows up at a factory, puts something together, and then goes home and thinks that that's enough to like land you some sort of relationship. And in the past it was, but I think it's a little bit sad that our standards would revert to that and that we think it should go back to that. Like, oh God, like this woman can work a job, and now the fact that my paycheck isn't enough to win me a wife means that I'm completely and totally lost and hopeless. I think it's time to like step up and like be an actual decent person, like figure out how to be emotionally available in a relationship, figure out how to be a good partner, figure out how to make a woman date you, other than the fact that like society says she's not allowed to work a job and get a paycheck.
I was talking to one of my friends and they were saying how right now they're looking for a relationship. Like, that's exactly what they want, and they don't want to waste time anymore. So they were saying how when they first start talking to someone now, at the beginning, they're going to ask them straight off the bat, what are you looking for out of this? Because I'm looking for a relationship and I don't want to waste your time or waste my time to continue talking to you. What do you think about being direct on like the first date right away?
Because give an ugly man a chance, and one thing he will always have is the audacity to...
So my last boyfriend was ugly. And I mean that for real, like, he was ugly. But I took some terrible advice from my older sister, which was to date someone you would never normally go for. Because she thought it was me picking the wrong men. But it turned out that it's just men. The only thing that's going to come out of a pretty girl dating a really ugly man is he's going to get cocky because he bagged a pretty girl and start treating you like shit. No more ugly men. Find someone you are physically attracted to. It's important. It's obviously not everything, but it just hits different when you get played by an ugly guy.
Fleck, when he was dating J-Lo, my buddy was a crap dealer. And he left him $5,000 and she picked up 45, in chips. And she picked it all up at 500 and left 500. He left the 5,000 tip. She picked it up. And like,
what a cunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a cunt. She stole. She's a fucking thief.
Well, you know,
That's
no, he
stealing.
knew she did it, but she went, you don't leaving that much. You
Oh,
know?
fuck her.
Yeah, but you know, you see it all the time. All the time.
J-Lo.
Good. Now, your marriage to Jenny has been highly publicized. Did you know that money was important to her from the beginning?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I took her to one of the finer restaurants of Dallas, and she proceeded to order everything on the menu. So that was my first clue that I knew this woman was going to be a big spender.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't really care. I was more interested in her and the excitement that she brought to me, and I knew I could pay for it.
What first attracted you to Jenny?
The excitement that she brought to the relationship.
Reed, what do you get out of the relationship?
She is the only one that I have ever loved in my life. And that's what I get out of the relationship.
Is she a problem for you from time to time?
Occasionally, but not all the time, no. The minor things that might happen are moving within a restaurant to get a better table, or to food is not prepared right, or little things like that. On the other hand, she might just tear the whole house apart if she gets real angry with me.
How she dressed with me versus with her girls.
I had dated previously, older gentleman, well-established, also an attorney, recovering attorney actually, because he left
There's
law
a
as
lot
well.
of us. There's more of us who used to be lawyers than are lawyers.
Right. Great guy, well-established, all of that, and there was just no chemistry. Like our sense of humor was different. We just didn't connect, and I was very much willing to just live that way because he checked everybody's list. Like, he's a smart guy, he's handsome, he was romantic, all of that. But there was no chemistry, and it was my girlfriends telling me, like, this is it. Like, this is the guy you should be with. We even went ring shopping. Like, I was ready to take the leap, and that was it. And then ultimately I decided I couldn't live that way. I remember thinking specifically, I don't want to go on a double date sitting across from a couple who has that spark and being confronted with something that I will never have. I decided to walk away from that, and I remember the guy was thinking, like, what are you doing? Because I think he knew what he brought to the table. And I was really fearful when I walked away. And then when I met him, it was what I wanted, which was, I really care about laughing. Like, life is gonna be hard, it's just different types of hard. And for me, if you can laugh with me through it, and I had been through hard, I had lost my father a year before I met him. If you can laugh with me through it, then we'll be okay. If you don't take yourself seriously, I didn't necessarily care for someone who had a lot of money. Like, if we can hustle together, if we can build together, as long as I'm not the one pulling the weight, if we can work hard together, and I know there's a lot to be said, people have varying opinions on that. I'm like, let's get down to business together, and let's celebrate together when we get to the other side.